Hey everyone, Brendan Snyder here. How are you? Thanks so much for joining me and welcome to a special video where I'm asking the question, where are all the new releases of 2025? We're 2 months in at this point. We're almost to the end of February here. And new releases have already been announced up through May and June. And at this point, it really seems like not a lot of major artists have been announced, nothing of real significance. So far, only a few things of interest have even dropped each week, at least for me. Mostly archival collections, live albums, but nothing of real value in terms of new material from our favorite artists. Typically, by this point, we would have had several big albums already dropped. We did last year. I'm going to touch on that a little bit more in a bit. We would know about big major dates that were coming up. And this year, it's been so slow. So I'm asking the question, where are all the new releases this year? And we're going to get into it in a little bit. But before we start, if you're new to my channel and you haven't already hit the subscribe button, please do. Also leave a comment, hit like. All those things do help support my channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you turn on notifications, you'll never miss an episode and stay up to date with really cool topics just like this, where I'm asking the question, where are all the new albums for 2025? So last year at this point, I'm going to run through 10 that we already either had or knew about by this point. All right, so Green Day dropped on January 19th, their brand new albums. We had that piece already. Saxon, also January 19th, a brand new studio album from them. Two major artists, in my opinion, at least. We had a killer box set from Dire Straits drop on January 19th. This one here, significant, cool archival material. Now, on February 23rd, Motorhead dropped a box set collecting together all their live releases from Record Store Day. So another very cool one. Also on February 23rd, Ace Frehley dropped his new album with Steve Brown from Trickster, a great pairing, something really super cool to look forward to of new material that wasn't the typical thing that Ace had been doing. Then, we knew this in advance, so already in February, we were looking forward to March 1st, the brand new Bruce Dickinson frontman for Iron Maiden. 1 week later, on March 8th, the brand new Judas Priest dropped the album that would be at the top of the charts for most everybody in terms of the best album by year's end. March 15th, 1 week after that, brand new Black Crowes. The band had reunited, hadn't made a brand new album in years, and we were getting the brand new Black Crowes album. Then we got a cool sort of tribute to himself, Michael Schenker, on March 29th, followed by Pearl Jam on April 19th. So these are all albums that were either out or we knew about at the same time last year. A lot of cool things to be looking forward to. This year, it's just not the same. So for major albums, we already got a Ringo Starr, but it was a country album, so I enjoyed it, but it's just not what I really wanted from him. So this has gotten very few spins for me. Maybe the biggest thing so far is the brand new Dream Theater album. That's the one that I think most people were looking forward to. So we got a big one here. It's the return of Mike Portnoy. Very cool. I get that. I'm excited about that. I'm glad we have it. That's going to make a lot of lists at the end of the year. But the other things so far have been from lesser known bands. They've been smaller groups, not to take anything away from them. They're just not as big as the Judas Priest, the Pearl Jams, the Motorhead, stuff like that. So great new album from the Helicopters has already come out. Night Flight Orchestra, both of those Swedish bands, I'm sure they're certainly bigger in their home countries than around the world. The Ferrymen, a cool supergroup featuring Ronnie Romero, has come out. Bonfire, which has been around since '85, so they've been around a long time, but again, just don't hold the clout as most bigger bands. So those are some cool albums that I'm glad to get, but they're not the big ones. They're not the ones that make me salivate and really look forward to an album coming out, the ones that I'm counting down towards, right? One that I was counting down towards, though, was really archival material. It was a new Thin Lizzy album called Acoustic Sessions that was cool to get because of how it was made, still featuring Phil Lynott on vocals and bass and their drummer Brian Downey in there, but then they brought in Eric Bell, the original guitar player, to record acoustic guitar parts for it, and they created this album. So it was very cool, but I know those songs. There wasn't anything new on it that I hadn't heard, just new versions of it. And so a lot of stuff is like that. We also got a killer brand new live album from Halloween live at Budokan, but this had been available in other countries back in December of 2024. It's really a 2024 album that we got in January, early February. And then the other one being G3 Reunion with Joe Satriani, Steve Vai, Eric Johnson. So a cool live album, but again, not new original material. And so there have been some new stuff announced, things that we can look forward to. I'm going to run on a few dates and major bands between now, the next week of release, the major one at least, February 28th, and then through to June. The stuff that I know about, I'm sure there's other stuff that's going to fill it in, but that's why I'm asking the question, where is it? Because it's not already announced. So we've got on February 28th, we've got a cool one. We've got Robin McCauley from McCauley Schenker Group. I'm looking forward to that. Jizzy Pearl's Love Hate also, so not like a Love Hate reunion. It's really a Jizzy Pearl solo album, but being a glam metal fan, I'm looking forward to that at least. But again, still nothing major yet. March 3rd, Smith Kotzen, Adrian Smith, Richie Kotzen doing their second studio album called Black Light, White Noise. Looking forward to it, not major. March 7th, first kind of major one, as a follow-up to the Dream Theater, which was the major one, but we'll go from the Dream Theater all the way until March 7th. Jethro Tull, Curious Ruminant. That one is, we're excited about. That one I'm counting down the days to, sort of a thing. Also on March 7th, we have a Yes, Closer to the Edge box set. Not new original material, but there is a cool archival release that's dropping of a big name. March 14th, got the live album from John Anderson of Yes, and then also a box set from Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes, a deluxe edition of their Live at the Greek. So again, archival material. March 21st, another archival release from Rush, major band, great, love that. Where's the new material? Certainly I understand we can't get it from Rush. I'm just saying, where are the other bands that we love? Why aren't we getting new albums this year? So far, 2025 seems to be like an off year, like all these bands have taken it off. They're all doing something else right now. So March 28th is supposed to be Van Halen live in Dallas 1991, although I've already seen it canceled or currently unavailable in terms of Amazon. It was announced, it was there, and now it's not. So that one might not even happen. April 4th, next, I should say, album of new material from what I still count as a major band, LA Guns, Leopard Skin. I'm looking forward to that. That one I am counting down the days to. May 9th, we have NXS Listen Like Thieves, a cool new box set, but no new albums from any artists on there, at least major ones. And then the final date to talk about and the next big album of new material, Doobie Brothers, Walk This Road. So just not a lot already. And if we take those 3 albums of new material from major bands that I mentioned, and you add in the Ringo Starr and the Dream Theater, that would put us at only 5 albums all the way up through June at this point. And as I said, I'm sure more stuff is going to get announced in there. We got to be patient. If you've watched my What Just Dropped episodes, I've already been talking about it, saying if it's very light right now, there's a good chance it's going to be heavier later on, maybe in the summer or going into fall. I just really don't want to wait that long. And again, I'm still questioning, why is this? What is going on? Is it just complete coincidentalness that these bands are taking this time off and pursuing other things? Are they all on the road? Kind of what's going on, right? So anticipated albums that should come out this year but have yet to be announced. Anthrax, who's been working on an album for a really long time. It's 7 or 8 years at least since their last one. And they're still recording, they're still working on it, but they have set a tentative date for September. So that one should happen. Sabotage, their final album, which is also a reunion album, was due out 2 years ago, April. Then it was due last April. It's supposed to be this April, but since it hasn't even been announced, and based on recent interviews with John Oliva, who says it's still being worked on, I don't foresee it happening. It could come out later in the year, so that might still happen. Molly Hatchet announced an album a year and a half ago. It was due out for sure last year, and I think it was announced the year before, but now suddenly very quiet. And I wonder if they're having problems with the current vocalist or what it could be. Why did they have an album that was supposed to have been complete, dropped a single from it, and then nothing? So their unnamed 13th studio album could come out. U2 have been in the news talking about recording new material and different styles that they're working on. And it's been since 2017, Songs of Experience, that they've put out a brand new album of original material. So this year it could happen, but no real rumblings that it will. But they're one of those bands that kind of comes out of nowhere and will announce a new album. ZZ Top should have had an album out already a few years back, and then obviously with the passing of their bassist, that slowed things down. And now it's been a couple of years since that, but this year we should be getting it, and it'd be their first new album since La Futura in 2012. Megadeth, slight possibility that we're going to get a brand new album from them. They're in the studio right now. It's going well. But they're also not a band to rush things, so we could see it in the fall, and I hope that we do. More than likely, they're going to push it off until 2026 release. That would be my expectation. And another very slight possibility, because there's been rumors and rumblings going around, we might get a brand new Bon Jovi album. We know that they've been in the studio recording new material. We know it's rumored that they're setting up a tour, but they just put out an album last year called Forever. So 1 year apart, that would be highly unlikely for Bon Jovi, but I would love it. I'm more concerned if they're going to simply reissue Forever with like 2 new tracks and go out and tour behind that. I kind of hope it's not the case, but that might be it, and we might not actually get new Bon Jovi. If we were to get those bands like Anthrax, Sabotage, Molly Hatchet, U2, ZZ Top, Megadeth, Bon Jovi, it would save the year. Those would be the big name bands that I would be anticipating already. Of course, we're always anticipating artists like Guns N' Roses. It's been 17 years since Chinese Democracy, and even longer if we go back to 1991 with the Use Your Illusion 1 and 2 albums. It could be the year. They've dropped new songs. They put out a couple singles and EPs. They're supposed to be seriously recording, according to Duff, Slash, other people. So might happen, but 17 years, there's no guarantee. All right, Boston. I'm always looking for a new Boston album. It's been 12 years since their last album, and he's notorious for taking really long between albums. But I haven't heard a single rumbling in any recent time that an album could even be happening. But he tends to drop things unannounced as well. And Poison, who's gearing up for a tour in 2026, their 40th anniversary tour. So I don't expect it this year. If it's going to happen, it's probably next year. But it's already been 18 years this year since we got anything new, and that was a covers album. Even longer if we go back to their album Hollyweird. So could it happen? Yeah. I don't think so, though. Those are big bands that I would love to get. And other big major artists that have saved previous years coming out with albums after long periods of time. AC/DC, it's been 4 years since their last album, but they're out on the road, and they take a lot longer between albums, so I don't see them releasing anything. Motley Crue, who has gotten back together, has put out a 3-song EP, but I don't see them making an entire brand new album. They've even said they're not intending on doing that, but it's been 17 years since we got a brand new album from Motley Crue. Def Leppard, it's only been 3 years, so I don't really see a new album happening, but they've been on a hot streak, dropping albums fairly quickly, and if they're not dropping new material, they're dropping archival stuff, so that could happen. Journey, it's been 3 years since they've done theirs. I think they're a little down on the dumps in terms of that album didn't do what they had hoped it would do, so they might throw their hands up and just say they're not doing another one. And Metallica, it's only been 2 years, so I don't think they're going to be putting anything out. Ozzy was supposed to have a new album, but I haven't heard anything about it in a good solid 6 months to a year, if even that. It's been 3 years since his last album. He's now doing the final farewell show with Black Sabbath, where they're also going to play some Ozzy tunes. Sounds like he's done and over with. I don't expect a new album from him, although it'd be really nice. Few others that come to mind. Whitesnake is supposed to be doing a farewell album. Leonard Skinner's supposed to be doing a farewell album, but I don't see those happening. Alice Cooper could drop a new album. That's possible. But all in all, I don't really know. I don't know what is in store for the rest of this year. It's not looking good in terms of my assessment so far on this. And I know you might take a different approach to this. You might already have a ton of artists that you love that have announced things that are the secondary and tertiary market of artists. And that's cool, man. I hope you do. I hope others out there do. But of these big major bands that I love, that I listen to, that normally through the cycle of things, there's a certain amount of them you just get every year. Not happening this year, and it's bumming me out. And I've been in such a dry spell waiting for something new from a major band to drop that I just don't know when and where it's happening. So that's why I'm asking the question, where are all the new albums for 2025? And of course, I'm talking about new original material. So if you know of any that I haven't announced here that you think are some major artists that are worth our time, certainly comment. Let people know. Maybe we can flesh out our album release schedules based on that stuff. And I kind of hope that as soon as I post this, I'm totally proven wrong and a lot of major artists announce things. But so far, I'm really, really concerned. 2025 is not looking very good to me. All right, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this video, this speculation and this pondering and this rant on where all the great new music is. Share what you will with it and what you like about it, and we'll be talking real soon. All right, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.